Hello and welcome to our today's webinar. My name is Anna Ogunuse and I will be your host for the webinar. The topic of today's webinar is what's new in Easy Redmine. As you can see, I'm actually on our landing page that summarizes what's new in Easy Redmine. You can simply access it through the homepage on Easy Redmine. Sorry. and okay, now it's working. And then we just go to Explore now. So over here we have a list. You know that this year we already had some news for you, such as some improvement in resource management, help desk, business intelligence, etc. And this time in October we have added few more new features. And to be exact, there is 4 news we brought for you, such as the new design themes. We brought 2 new design themes. Then also a model view of tasks, which is improvement in the task management, resources auto balancer, and Jenkins as Jenkins CI Easy Redmine plugin, which is a plugin for continuous integration. If you attended one of our previous webinars, especially the one for resource management, the recent one, I was already talking about the balancer, but we will briefly have a look at that today as well. So let's start by switching to my Trello that I have set up. And the first thing that we will have a look at is the design themes. So till recent, we only had one design theme, which is this default theme, which is these colors, the layout, and everything. And recently, we have added 2 new themes, which means that currently Easy Redmine comes with 3 design themes, simply to meet various users' needs. So we have default one, compact one, and dark one. And to work with these themes, to change them and to switch between them, we can do this on the user's profile. To access our user profile, we'll go to the main toolbar. And then we click on Edit. And the custom design is where we access these themes. I would also like to mention that the new version of Easy Redmine is currently available on our trials, which is where I'm showing you to right now. For the server users, it should be in your client zone. You can download it there. And if you are using our cloud version, it will be updated by the end of this week. You'll be notified via email. So don't worry if you don't have these options or what I'm going to be showing you today in your Easy Redmine, your cloud version, your paid application yet. It'll be there by the end of the week. So as I said, the one the theme that we are currently looking at is the default theme. Then we have the compact and the dark. So the default theme is designed for most users as it's the standard light colored graphic and the layout is suitable for typical work. So it's mostly the one that you should work with during the day or during like at night, but only when you are in a well-lit environment, because else it's not good for your eyes. Then we also have the compact theme. So let's just switch to that one to show you what it looks like. So once you change the theme, make sure you hit the save button and it will reload. You will see the difference mainly on the dashboard because, or also here actually, but let's go home. So you can see the light and the colors, they remain the same, but the layout of the graphic elements within the application is much more compacted, simply to display maximum data on one screen. So we are trying to reduce the need for you to scroll. So you can see it's more compacted, it's slightly smaller compared to the default one. Let's go back to the profile and click on Edit. And let's switch to the dark one. So the dark theme you will see the difference. In this case, it's pretty big. It displays dark surfaces across the majority of the UI, so it improves visual ergonomics by reducing eye strain. So this is a really good theme to use, especially, well, also during the day. It's perfect. You know that a lot of applications and programs, they already offer dark theme. But especially if you work in the evening and you are in a dark place, it puts, like, if you use the light theme, it puts too much strain on your eyes. So make sure you switch to the dark theme. So those are the three themes. As you can see, the dark theme is just everywhere, applied within the application, even on your home dashboard. I will switch back to the default one in order for us to continue with the webinar. There we go. I would like to also mention that if you have any questions during the webinar, feel free to use the questions and answers feature, the Q&A, which is available in the toolbar of this webinar. I will try to answer your questions as we go, or I will get to them at the end of the webinar. So we have covered the first point, which was the themes. So now we know that instead of just one, we have 3 themes available. The next point that we have over here is the model view of task, which is improvement in our task management. So what does that exactly mean? So a model view of task enables us to see or edit all important data related to a task in a pop-up window. So you don't have to open a different window, you don't have to go to a different site. So just simply wherever you are, it'll bring a pop-up window where you can edit all the attributes of the task. And this kind of view is available on a standard task list. So we can, for instance, access it through tasks. We can go through my task or your worker's task or anything, as well as WBS, Agile, or Schedule. So what does it look like? So when we are on the task list, and it doesn't matter whichever task list, if it's your task or any other filtered task, we see this option right here. So you just go, and when you click on it, it'll bring up the pop-up window. So it's like a compact view of everything that can usually be found under various tabs, columns, or buttons of the normal task view. I think the best would be actually to also open the normal task view, so you have a comparison in case you are not really familiar with Easy Redmine yet. So, and most importantly, the model view is extremely fast, so it loads faster than if you are loading a new tab, and it's easy to use, and it really saves time during your daily task management. And it's also very interactive. You can easily and quickly edit any of the attributes. And so over here, this is what the standard task looks like. And you edit it. If you want to edit it, you can either use these pen icons, or if you want to update it, you click on update. So that's the standard version. Well, if we have the model, the task model, you just simply click anywhere. You don't even need to click on any icon. You just like click into it, create it, author, start date, estimated time, sprint, project, due date, status. Everything can be, all the attributes can be easily edited here. You can also edit the description on the task. You can add a comment. And you can, just like in the normal view, you can see the previous updates that have been done on the task as well. You can attach attachments. You can log spend time. just like you are used to on the regular task view. You can check the details or the description, comments. So you can either do it through the scrolling, or you can use these buttons to help you to navigate through it without having to scroll. And as I said, it's available in different modules. So if we actually, let's go to a project, to sample project. So we have WBS where it can be accessed. We can also access it in the task list over here. You can see it's over here. We can also access it in Agile. So we can go to our Kanban board. And when we double click on the task, it brings up the pop-up window, just like we saw before. And we can also access it in our scheduler. So to view the scheduler, let's just go back to our home page where the scheduler is on the home dashboard. And the same thing, just double click and a pop-up window will show. So that would be the modal view. We have a question if the modal view is configurable. I'm not quite sure what you mean, but if you mean like if you can choose what exactly you want to see there, what tabs you want to have there, that's not possible at the moment. So it's only the default view that you have there. Yeah. So it's only yeah, at the moment it's not possible to actually change the sidebar menu or change what you are viewing in there. But thank you for the feedback. I will definitely pass it on to our development team for our future features development. So that would be for the modal view. If you don't have any other questions, we will continue on to our third topic. Okay, we have more questions. One question is, can we view the modal window at the end of this week? Daniela, probably you were not here at the beginning. I mentioned that if you are using if you have your application, if you have a paid application on your cloud, it will be updated by the end of this week. So probably Thursday, Friday, you should have it there and you'll be notified via email. Regarding custom fields in modal view, if you can view those or actually edit those in modal view, no, the modal view, it's the way it is, and it cannot really have at the moment, it does not have more options available or fields available, because then it would not be as compact and it wouldn't work as fast. But we will see how the feature development goes in the future. So regarding our third new feature on the list, that's in our resource management, and it's called a auto balancer, or a balance option that we will have there. So to show you the balance feature, we will go to our menu more and resource management. And so what is the balance feature? So first of all, we can find it both on our global level of resource management as well as a project level. In both In both cases, we can find it under the button Tools and then Balance. So the Balance feature, by clicking on it, all allocated hours of all displayed user assigned tasks. So it means that all displayed user assigned tasks simply means that it will affect those that are displayed here. Because you know that for your resource management, you can also use like a filter. So if you have filtered like a certain time period, it will only impact that those tasks within the time period. So in order for the balance to work, it must be the user assigned tasks. So those that are expanded and visible on the timeline, not hidden or collapsed. So if you want to use it, we have to open them this way. Okay, so if they are collapsed, it's not going to affect them. So always make sure you open them, and so they will be the hours will be redistributed based on the user's free capacity, and it also takes into account the user's daily work. So how many hours a day are they supposed to work? What's their daily capacity, their vacation, as well as other task allocation. The thing is that the balance tool pretty much only works with the current state. So if the person has some vacations logged in at this moment, it will take them into account. But once you use the balance tool and you would log some vacation afterwards, you have to use the balance tool again. It won't like change based on the new vacation. So it's something that has to be excuse me, redone if you make some changes into the capacities and the vacation. There is a little difference between the global and the project level of resource management and how the balance tool works there. So on the global level, because we know that if we are using the global resource management, those are tasks from different projects. So it takes all of them into account. While if we work in a on a project level of resource management, then it will only take into account the task only within that particular project. So I think the best place to use the balance tool is on the global level, because then you might end up like using the balancing tool within one project, but then it won't really work, or it can overload the person once you look at the global level of resource management. The automated balancing process is based on the allocator called future evenly, because you know that we have a variety of allocators available, such as from end, from start, evenly. Future evenly means that it'll allocate it evenly into the future, so from today on. So yeah, it's using this last one automatically. So the hours are allocated evenly throughout the duration of a task, starting from today onwards. Only the last day of the task duration is never auto-balanced, because there will be all the hours remaining. And that's something that you can usually see when you are using the allocator, that like it'll give the person, if they can work 8 hours a day, it'll give them 8, but then there is still a lump sum of estimated time remaining, so it'll be all moved on to the last day. Balance feature and reallocate feature are two different features, so they don't work together, they don't perform, they are not combined. So balance works differently than reallocate. And as I mentioned, once the balancing is finished, so any newly created vacations are not taken into account anymore. So if a user logs in or applies for a new vacation that is approved, you have to use the balance feature again. You can use it pretty much as many times if you want. If you need to restore the original state of the unsaved relocation, simply and yeah, so if you are using the balance and you want to like go back to the original one, simply don't use the save button. And on the other hand, if you want to keep the changes you have made, please use the save button. Uh, you know that you have tasks with various priorities. Okay, let me find one where we would have something other than normal. So we have a priority such as normal and high. So the balancing process is always executed based on the priority. So first it will start with the urgent, then high, and then go to normal. So let me just show you that it works or how it looks on the project level as well. So simply if we go to our projects, we can leave it. Let's go to this project, and if we go to our resource management and click on tools, you can find the balance feature here as well. And the same thing applies. It only you have to work with it the same way. Just that right now it'll only affect the tasks within the particular project, not any other. It won't take any other projects into account. So that's the balance tool, and then we have our Jenkins. So that's for people who are slightly more technical. So what are the Jenkins CI Easy Redmine plugin? So simply this plugin, so you can integrate your Easy Redmine with Jenkins and other CI or CD tools to get continuous integration that will boost your DevOps. What is Jenkins? It's actually a leading open source automation server that supports building, deploying, and automating any project. And now you can integrate it fully. It can be fully integrated with your Easy Redmine. How to use Jenkins on a project? We can. It's probably yeah. Let's show you on this project. So when you're on a project, we need to first activate the module on the project, which we go under settings. And then in modules, there is now a new thing called continuous integration. Sorry, continuous integration and save. Once we save that, the continuous integration will appear over here. And this is where we can do the settings. So we add was the host, the server, then our username and the API token. Just to give you an idea, what would you use a Jenkins integration for? For instance, if you work on, let's also, if you were working on a project where you are creating a website, and you just need like an automated check on something on the website. So you would have various statuses for the task. So you are creating each page, and then you create the coding for the page is done in HTML, and then you need like once the task status is changed from built to HTML check, you would automatically need to run the process of automated check. So this is what you would use the Jenkins for. As I said, this is a bit more technical, and to be honest, it's not my strongest. These technicalities are not my strength. So I strongly suggest you check actually if there's something that is of your interest. Go to our website, and as I said, under the new features, when we click on Jenkins, you will find here a video that describes it a bit more in detail, and you can also find the feature article, which gives you the summary. Basically, Jenkins is something you will only you will use if you use GitLab. So you will be through the continuous integration, you will integrate it with your GitLab. So it's mainly for developers, put it this way. And you will find here a good video with a practical example, which I just tried to describe, but here you'll find it a bit more in detail. And also, if you have any further questions about Jenkins, our support team will be here to help you. So right now we have actually covered the 4 topics that we wanted to cover today, which is the new themes. As I said, now we have 3 themes available for you, which is the default, compact, and dark. You can find it under your user profile, or if you are setting up a new Easy Redmine Trello, right in the first contact form where you are filling your personal details. In the step 2, it will ask you which theme you would like to have, and you can always change it on your user profile. The modal view of the task is something that just makes task management simpler, easier, and faster, and it can be accessed through the task list on the project or any filter through WBS on your Agile board as well as scheduler. Auto Balancer is a new feature in the resource management, which is available both on the global and project level, and it redistributes all allocated hours of the tasks. And then Jenkins is for continuous integration with GitLab. So if you have any questions, please feel free to type it in. If you have any questions later, or if you feel like I did not answer your question properly, feel free to contact our support team. Our support team can be contacted directly from your application through the chat window, and you will find this chat window as well on our website right here. And for any more technical details, or if you want to just look at something in a bit more detail, such as the resource management or anything, at the bottom of our website, if you go to knowledge base, you have here our documentation of Easy Redmine. So if we go to resource management, just to give you an idea, this is where you will find a bit more detail on how to use the balance feature, and it's over here, as well as other settings for resource management. We recently had a webinar on resource management in particular, and you can access the recording of the webinar on our website under services and webinars. And over here, this is Easy Redmine Resource Management, where we had like almost 45-minute webinar specifically on resource management. So I hope I gave you a good idea on what's new in your Easy Redmine. Just to remind you, all these features are currently already available on the trial versions. They are available for download for the server users in their client zone, and they will be available on our customer cloud applications by the end of this week, and you'll be notified by email. As you can see on the list of our webinars, our upcoming webinar will be on the 23rd, which is next week, and it'll be about help desk. So feel free to type in any other questions if you have. If not, thank you so much for your attention. I hope to see you at our future webinars or at one of our onboarding sessions. And I wish you good luck with your projects.